The college football experience, bowl games part 1 and FCS playoff preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the SGPN app. The SGPN app is completely free to download and home to all of your favorite SGPN podcasts, contests, and picks. Just type SGPN into the App Store or Google Play Store today to download America's #1 DGen app, folks. And remember, as always, to let it ride.
Hey, folks, this is Bud Foster. You're listening to SGPN. Let's let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience, bowl games, part 1 and FCS playoff and a little D2, D3, NAIA talk.
Why not?
Yes. We got football going on all week. Got a big slate of games, and perhaps you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to, and that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
The fuck is that?
Oh, I think most fan bases are probably saying,
the fuck is that? Shit!
When they look at their roster of their teams, I feel like it's almost like the movie Major League right now in a way, where you just got fan bases just going, oh, like we're gonna get Grayson McCall back next year. Oh no,
the fuck is that? Shit!
MJ Morris gonna be back next year for NC State.
The fuck is that? Shit!
Kyle Honda McCord coming back to Ohio State next year.
The fuck is that? Shit!
Malik Murphy, he's the future of Texas football, maybe.
The fuck is that? Shit!
Dylan Gabriel. Okay, we were 10-2 last year. We get him back. We're national championship contenders.
The fuck is that? Shit!
Wait. Both the Michigan State starting quarterbacks from this past year, they transfer.
The fuck is that? Shit!
What else do we got? What else can we throw in here? Let's say Tulane Green, Boise State. Oh, Mountain West champions. Is he going to be back next year?
The fuck is that? Shit!
Van Dimes, Will Rogers, DJU.
Yeah. Every quarterback in college football is in the portal, and every fan is sitting there saying,
the fuck is that? Shit!
I mean, this is insane. Folks, I am joined by my co-host. Give it up. Hopefully you're watching youtube.com/the college experience. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Whoop.
I mean, make it make sense, guys. Make it make sense.
A lot to process.
Also joined by third man in the booth. Just got off a fucking plane. All right, he's been traveling around. Maybe he's been, maybe he's in the portal. Maybe he's, trying to take his talents elsewhere.
I got a little bit of eligibility left.
Yeah. Give it up for the DFS guy himself, the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco living, the free lot giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's up, guys?
Why don't we have songs like that anymore?
Well, we don't have. I mean, yeah, we need a lot. We need
high-end artists making these songs.
That is a high-end artist right there. People don't know that. That was Hall & Oates. They had a few cocktails, started singing Bosworth.
While watching Stone Cold. Stone Cold is what, really, I mean, they were watching like, we need to make a song about this guy.
Yeah, he goes, dude, the opening scene of Stone Cold, fantastic. Walks into the grocery store. It's like a grocery store / liquor store, and it's getting held up, and you don't fuck with the Boz. It's got some of the best cheese ball lines. You gotta check out the movie Stone Cold. Guys, the portal, don't refresh your Twitter page because I'm not prepared for that. I made notes. The portal is insane. I don't like I said, I'm afraid to talk about it.
It's hard to keep track. Like,
dude,
you'll mention something. I'm like, oh, did he really? I didn't see that one. It's what I call the great reshuffling. And at the end, when all the dust is settled, I want to know, have teams improved themselves? Have players improved their position? Or is this all just a bunch of madness?
Yeah, this is like, what's the called with the rotating chairs? The,
musical chairs.
Musical chairs. Yeah. Yeah. This is musical. Fuck. I can't even talk.
I would say that it seems like more impactful by far than the recruiting situation.
100%.
Yeah.
Dude, this is like, we thought it was crazy 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think this year's crazier than that. I mean, I don't think you can mention many good college football players that we know are coming back. Maybe we're sitting there, Quinn Ewers, and even that's a question mark because of Arch Manning, right? We're thinking, okay, Quinn Ewers, we think will be back. Jalen Milroe, we think will be back.
Hit the portal after going to the playoffs. That would be freaking hilarious.
You don't know if they promised Arch Manning something. Malik Murphy entered the portal today. All right, that's Texas's second string quarterback. Now, that one's not surprising to me because I thought he would do it, but let's talk about these. Dylan Gabriel, the starting quarterback of Oklahoma, 10-2 this year. He's in the portal. He has now landed at Oregon.
Why? That was a surprise.
Why?
I mean, you understand it when there's a coaching change or something. That's when it makes sense. And a lot of these guys do go through coaching changes. Not all of them. But or the team is struggling, or they're a mid-major and they want to jump up to P5. But this one maybe made the least amount of sense.
Well, it probably makes more sense when you consider the money being involved. You would figure Oregon and Nike have a lot of money to throw around.
Oklahoma too, though. I mean, it's Oklahoma. This isn't Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I mean,
Oklahoma State has
really
plenty of money too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, Oklahoma is like
should have a lot of money.
I spent a lot of time in Oklahoma. All right, like the whole state loves Oklahoma. So right now, that's the big news. There's I mean, that's let's make it make sense. Oregon, I think that's a great get for them, right? This is a guy who's in his like 18th year of college football.
For sure. He'll step right in day one with Nick's gone, and that offense should continue to fly.
Now, Nick's did 2 years at Oregon, right? I guess how many years do we know is Gabriel? I guess I'm trying to figure out.
He's got 1 year left.
Even with 1 year, it could prove to be the best approach to just go out and get a great quarterback that has a year of eligibility remaining.
But the history kind of does not side with you. The history is short of Jalen Hurts. It takes 2 years. Burrow, it took 2 years. Nix, it took 2 years. Penix, it took 2 years.
Did Hurts win a national championship or anything? I mean,
he got to the playoff. He got to the playoff.
Yeah.
My point is that there hasn't been many 1 year impacts. We thought certain quarterbacks, Brennan Armstrong would do great at NC State. He kind of struggled. I would actually say Hartman might be one of the better ones for 1 year. Penix, maybe his first year was good. He obviously they didn't make the Pac-12 championship, but he was very good. But if you look at these, Burrow, it took 2 years. Every quarterback, in the Heisman running, I feel like Caleb Williams, he never got to the CFP.
Yeah.
Are you doing?
Yeah.
I was going to say, are you doing yourself a disservice as a program of that caliber, knowing that it's unlikely with that 1 year transfer at quarterback that you're going to make the playoff?
Well, I don't know if that's the case anymore because now everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
True. We're going to see if Dabo Swinney's approach to just strict player development and no transfer portal pays dividends this year and next year with Cade Klubnik having 2 years left.
I think Oregon's closer to making the playoffs than Clemson.
But going to the Big Ten will be interesting just because in a way it might be easier. For Oregon. Yeah.
I mean, they had quite the gauntlet this year.
Yeah. Now you get Rutgers and Minnesota on the schedule. It's great. All right. So I'm trying to make sense of the rest of these. Ready? Starting quarterback of North Texas, Chandler Rogers transfers to California. Starting quarterback of Boise State, Talon Green transfers to Arkansas. Brock Vandegrift, the backup at Georgia, transferred to Kentucky. Max Brown, who started the Florida State game and I believe came in the Missouri game for Florida behind Graham Mertz, transferred to Biff Poggi in Charlotte. Blake Shapen, the starting quarterback of Baylor, transferred to Mississippi State. Grayson McCall, the starting quarterback of Coastal Carolina, to NC State. MJ Morris, the starting quarterback of NC State half the year, transferred to Maryland. Sam Levitt, the quarterback who started most of the games at Michigan State, transferred to Arizona State. The quarterback.
Just to interrupt you, so far, most of them make sense.
Hold on.
Keep going.
Noah Kim, the backup at Michigan State, who started some of the season, transferred to Coastal Carolina. Riley Leonard, the starting quarterback from Duke, transferred to Notre Dame. Hank Bachmeier, the starting quarterback from Louisiana Tech for half the season, is now at Wake Forest and Dave Clawson. Tyler Van Dyke, the starting quarterback from Miami Hurricanes, is now at Wisconsin. Brendan Sorsby, the starting quarterback from the Indiana Hoosiers, transfers to Cincinnati. Tyler Shuck, the starting quarterback from Texas Tech majority of the season, now transfers to Louisville with Jeff Brom in his seventh. He'll be in the 7th year of college football. Those are just the ones they've landed. We still have a lot of guys. DeQuan Finn is in the portal. Curtis Rourke, and these are the breaks are in the portal at the quarterback spot. And like I said, there's just a shit ton. Sam Jackson, who started at Cal, he's now in the portal. Malik Murphy from Texas in the portal. Both of Utah's starting quarterbacks, knowing that Cam Rising is coming back, in the portal. The Greek Rifle.
To lose track of this.
Yeah, the Greek Rifle for Minnesota, he is in the portal. Their starting quarterback for this past season. Jordan McLeod for JMU is in the portal. Still hasn't landed anywhere. I mean, there's Emmett Moorhead, who started some at BC portal. Aiden Childs and DJU both. There's a chance that all three. Because I heard that, yeah, I think Oregon State's going to be starting a 4th string starting quarterback in the bowl game. Dante Moore at UCLA, Evan Simon, Rutgers' quarterback, Trayshawn Borgat, the Western Michigan quarterback portal. You can go one by one. AJ Swan from Vanderbilt portal. Jack Salad shooter from Western Michigan portal. Kyle McCord, we thought he was going to Nebraska. He's now backed off that. There's talk.
That's the unbelievable thing is that, like, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, all right, you're just listing every quarterback in college football.
Yes.
But then you drop Kyle McCord at number 500. Like, that's one of the most important transfers in the whole fucking game.
Cam Ward, Washington State. He's been, he's talked to Ohio State. He's been at Miami. He's been at Florida State. Like I said, DJU checked out Florida State. That'd be pretty hilarious.
You haven't mentioned Spencer Petras yet,
dude. Landed at Utah State,
right?
That's an important one.
Mitch Griffiths, starting quarterback of Wake portal. Will Howard, Kansas State's starting quarterback portal.
Watch Petras throw for like 5,000 next year.
To Patty's point, though, it'd be quicker if you just said which quarterbacks are staying.
And we got it. We figured it out last episode. Jackson Dart is back.
Yes.
We think Quinn Ewers and Jalen Milroe are back.
Yes. Yeah.
Other than that, take a fucking drink because we have no idea I mean, what do we make of all of those ones? Is Riley Leonard the biggest impact one? Tulane Green? I don't know. What do you think?
Leonard's up there. There's probably a list. So we're talking about just people that have landed, right?
Yeah,
I
know Jeff
in the portal. What do you?
I mean, there's so many. There's so fucking many. Another one. I mean, a substantial one I'll say is Treshaun Ward, Kansas State's running back, is now at Boston College.
Welcome back to the ACC.
Yeah, Rocket Sanders. This one just left me dumbfounded. Like, he leaves Arkansas for South Carolina. He's like, I'm in the shitty SEC West school. Let me go to the shitty SEC East school.
Yeah, same colors, same
what?
everything. What's the point?
And they couldn't, like, their offensive line's terrible. Who's telling you? They have to just be paying more, right?
Beamer Magic, baby. He can get a transfer or two. That's his specialty.
Our guy in the chat, Meximel, is asking about Aiden Childs. It sounds to me like he's going to follow his coach over to Michigan State. I don't think that's official yet, but that's what it sounds like. And that's a nice one to get because you could have him for 3 years at least.
Well, here's what's crazy is the Childs one. Yeah, DJU. It seems like it's going to be Florida State, maybe. I saw USC also looking at him, but
DJU at Florida State is great.
It is great. It is hilarious. But hold on, I want to go back to Rocket Sanders at Arkansas. South Carolina just landed Oscar Attaway, who was North Texas's like 1,500 yard running back or whatever. Why would Rocket Sanders go if he's got to know he's got to compete with that?
Maybe he wants some new scenery.
I mean, this is Nate Noel, App State star running back. John Lee Eldridge, Air Force's star running back. Jordan Waters. Everyone's in the portal, man.
John Lee Eldridge, an actual service academy guy, hit the portal.
Well, that makes sense too, because he'd have like 5 carries for 85 yards.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't get the ball enough. Is he able to like get out of his military?
Yes, because he's a grad. I think when you're a grad, you can do whatever the fuck. I think and wait. Either way, man. I mean, literally, I can't I don't know. I'm just dumbfounded at how many players are in the fucking portal. Where they're all going to end up.
Yeah,
Jaquavius Marks portal.
It's almost even hard to do a podcast whether we're just rattling off 1,000 names. I think at some point in the off season, maybe we'll go conference by conference and highlight, the biggest gets, the biggest losses. But it's wild, man.
Well, you also had the ruling today with West Virginia and basically saying that the NCAA, who had stopped all these players in the portal, and I know this pertains more to college basketball right now because their season's in the middle of the season. Basically saying that this is not consistent with what they're doing. So let everybody fucking go, ruling that, this ruling is unfair. And now you have the portal fucking going again. Like everything that was blocked, which is unfortunate. I mean, shit, Colorado could have used Tyler Brown on the offensive line this year. You know what I mean? Like some of that shit is
on one hand, I was kind of glad to see the NCAA trying to put some kind of restraints in, but on the other hand, it seemed like no rhyme or reason why they would choose to allow some players to play and block others. So I don't know. It's a fucking mess.
I mean, look, the whole the money thing, the transfer thing, I guess consistency is an important factor here, but maybe there should be some regulation on this. Am I the non-player friendly?
No.
Am I part of the corporate I don't know.
I've swung, man. I think I was kind of let them have that, but now I'm worried about if you're a fan, what the fuck? You know what I mean? If you're an Oregon State fan, you're my whole team's gone. You know what I mean? The whole team is left. What am I rooting for here? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know that there's
Duke's not too far behind him.
Yeah.
A lot of Duke is leaving as well, but that kind of makes sense because the coach is gone. So,
okay, whatever. My point, Oklahoma's whole offensive line and Dylan Gabriel left.
That is more surprising. Agreed.
They kept their coach. So it's I don't know. I just think there's got to be
maybe the coach was a little too mean to him. Maybe he was yelling at him a little too much.
Well, let me say this. As a fan, should your opinion really matter in this situation?
Well, I mean, you're responsible for the TV ratings and the and the booster pay.
Ultimately, all this NIL money is coming because of there's a shit ton of people who love college football that watch it.
Okay, but still, from a human rights standpoint, say they get less money because they lose some fans. Should they not be able to have more autonomy on their own future because of it? I think money is the last thing that really should be. I guess fan opinion is probably the last thing that should be considered here.
And there's also no guarantee, or we're saying that maybe it's bad for the fans, but college football is doing just fine, and especially expanded playoffs, it's going to even gain more steam probably. So I don't see a bunch of fans as dropping off.
I see FCS with the highest ratings they've ever had this past weekend.
Yeah.
Huh? Hauck knows FCS. Frankie Russell says, why can't Boston College or Virginia be elite programs? They can, and I think it's just up to them if they want to spend to get there. I think
Virginia currently number 13 in the football transfer portal rankings. Hello.
Well, number 1 is the Colorado Buffaloes. They just went out and got every offensive lineman that was good in the portal, and the number 1 offensive tackle in the high school recruiting scene.
That's a good question. I would say it starts with the head coach. Well, it probably starts with the university, and is there buy-in from everybody? Is making a winner of high priority from the school president down?
Yeah, that's it.
But then having the right coach, that makes all the difference. And it doesn't hurt to have very rich alumni in modern day college football.
It seems like Syracuse is getting their shit together.
Yeah.
They hired Fran Brown, right? And
Franny.
I'm hearing rumors that Kyle McCord might be the next Syracuse quarterback, but I know they went out and they got a staff that I think is there's signs that they're paying a little higher, and then also they just got a couple transfers from Georgia to come in. I'm starting to think maybe they realize the writing's on the wall that they're going to end up in the Big East with no football program if they don't get their shit together.
Is Kyle McCord any good? If Kyle McCord couldn't look good at Ohio State with that offensive line, those receivers, I mean, is that great of a get?
Kyle McCord didn't look terrible for the.
He didn't look very good either,
and he was only a sophomore. Right?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he looks at a different program. But I'm just saying that there's no guarantee he's going to be a great player for him.
Fair, but at the same time, I don't know. Ohio State had a shit ton of people hit the portal, but I don't know if that's them sending them out. I don't even know what to make of anything right now. I'm just like,
a little credit. Speaking of Kyle McCord, can we give some credit to Matt Rule for not only being projected at 100% according to 24/7 Sports right now to land Kyle McCord?
No, that's the 24/7 Sports is late to this though. McCord said he's looking elsewhere and he's scheduled a trip to Syracuse.
Okay, so they're off on that.
That's what I'm saying.
But Dylan Raiola, however you pronounce it,
the 5-star
quarterback in the nation, looking to switch from Georgia to Nebraska.
Do you know why?
Why is that?
His uncle's on the staff. He just got a huge pay raise.
Oh, the old college basketball thing.
Yeah, let's go.
Make a family member or the high school coach your assistant coach, and then you know what? Boom, you land a guy.
It's a family affair.
Classic.
You know what I mean? I just think this shit is every day that I load up Twitter, I'm just like, really? This guy's gone? Why? Some of them, I understand it when the coach leaves. I do.
Yes.
But some of the other ones, I'm just sitting there like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Let me ask you this: we rattled off some quarterbacks. What about other positions that?
It's every position, man. I mean,
yeah, it really is.
You look at the defensive line, like you could argue that one might be the biggest one of all, with all those players from A&M, and I know that Houston has a top-notch couple defensive linemen that hit the portal, but yeah. I mean,
three of the top 10 or 12 or so from D-line commits are from A&M going out the door. Ouch.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think they saw what the Duke D-line, which actually played really well this year, and those are all like 3-stars. You would think they would see that and be like, you know what? Maybe I should stay at Texas A&M, make a lot of money, and put some faith in this new coaching staff. But you know, who knows? I mean, I guess they're accepting the new coach rather than finding a spot where they want to be.
One of those big A&M defensive linemen is Fadil Diggs, who transferred to Syracuse. They're saying. So, like I said, maybe the Qs are putting their shit together. I don't know. I don't know that it's great for the fucking sport. I mean, obviously we're going to be here to talk about it, but I do worry about that long term. Is like, is this great? This many. I understand looking for the better opportunity. I understand free agency and stuff like that, but I do wonder about it long term. I was asking this question pre-episode. Would you be a college football fan today if we were kids? You know, what made us college football fans as a 10-year-old growing up was knowing you could, you know, we were tuning into, you know, whoever, playing whoever. And maybe I'm wrong here. I'm just posing the question. Would you be a fan today if you saw, you know, maybe Ryan Leaf at their 1 year at Wazoo is at, Texas, you know, or,
I don't think you're born a 50-year-old curmudgeon-y man. You know, I don't think you're 10 years old and hate. I think you like whoever's good, you know, especially if it's like there's something about them that represents you or whatever. You know, for me, Tiki Barber, Anthony Poindexter, all those guys.
So Tiki Barber would have been at Florida State.
Now that would have hurt. That would have hurt.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, dude. As I think about it, you're like,
Jake Plummer, but college sports has never relied on individual players. You know, college sports is bigger than the individual players. More about the coach. It's more about the program. It's more about the history and the whole, you know, university and everything. So,
still, that's a good point. When you say that, when you talk about the year over year, your favorite player that you just developed a love for going and playing for the rival, it affects your fandom, I would think, especially as a kid.
Well, I mean, I think it's just a fair question to ask. It's like you wouldn't have saw that Jake Plummer at Arizona State would have been plucked away by Michigan or something. You know what I mean? Like all those great players that we saw, you know, at schools that maybe weren't used to being as dominant, would have bounced for bigger money elsewhere, and it might have had an effect on us from a fandom thing. I think NC's probably right though, that we love the traditions, the history, the you know, the fact that, you know, they still play each other, you know, like that's one thing that you could also say though, is Rutgers UCLA as opposed to UCLA.
You are losing a lot of, you know, long-standing rivalry games. That's true.
There's a lot that's shitty about college football.
But what else are you gonna do on a Saturday in the fall? Come on.
It's true. Basketball.
Are you gonna watch NBA? Get into hockey?
No. All right, look, folks, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. They got NFL, they got NBA, they got NHL, and you better believe they got college football and college basketball. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. I know me and Noah Beanick have been tackling this on the college basketball experience. Noah's been writing a lot of great articles at sportsgamblingpodcast.com regarding this. You get props, folks, that are fucking fantastic. You can't find college football and college basketball stuff like this. All right. So what are you doing? Hop on over there. Tell me if you think this guy will get higher or lower on their stat projections. And it's essentially like a parlay, but it gives you this. I buy into this product. And folks, right now, if you sign up with the promo code TCESGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit to $100, all the way up to $100. But how about this? Take a screenshot of you signing up. It's bowl season. It's college basketball season. Take a screenshot of you signing up. We're going to enter you in a rigged David Stern like raffle where you are going to get a college football or basketball experience t-shirt, your preference. All right. Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. I highly recommend it. All right. We are back on the college football experience, and Jon Sumrall is the new head coach of the Tulane Green Wave. And I got to admit, his press conference is pretty awesome. He said, yeah, you know, first off, he was previously at Tulane with I think Willie Fritz. Yeah. But his press conference, pretty fucking fantastic when he said, not only are we going to go to the playoffs as the top group of 5, we're going to win the whole fucking thing. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. What do we make the hire, NC Nick?
I think it's a great hire. I think it's a perfect fit, especially since he's been there before. I mean, 2 years at Troy, he's gone 12-2 and 11-2. This was a slam dunk, no brainer.
Patty C, Jon Sumrall.
Tough to argue with the stats there. 2 years as a head coach. I don't even know what that win percentage is. 23-4. It's pretty damn high. And he's young. 41 years old? Yeah, a lot to like there.
He was certainly on my radar, or one of my choices for Duke's head coaching position. I think Tulane maybe just hired a better coach than Duke did.
Let's talk about that because Duke hired Manny Diaz, the former. You know what I love about this? There's many elements. A, he's going to get to play Mario Cristobal. B, Mac Brown fired him at Texas. And that Duke Carolina rivalry is going to be better. It's going to be better. Manny Diaz, Penn State's defensive coordinator, previously with the Miami Hurricanes and previously the head coach of Temple for one day. Now hired at Duke.
Let me tell you about Manny Diaz, though. You point out that you think he's a good defensive coordinator, but a terrible head coach. I think, yeah, I've seen you say that on Twitter. Is that factual?
I think like your defense can look very good when you play the Big Ten offenses.
So you're not even convinced on him as a defensive coordinator?
I'm not. No.
I think on Twitter I saw the same tweet. I think that was from SGP. So I think that was either it might have been Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was mistaken there. I think Manny Diaz is a solid coach. I think if they had given him a little more time at Miami, he might have turned the corner. He had some pretty heartbreaking losses there, several in a row that led to his firing. Is he going to do anything special at Duke? Tough to say, probably not. But I heard the Cover 3 guys saying high ceiling or high floor hire, which I guess is what you kind of want at Duke. I don't think you shoot for a high ceiling hire necessarily there. I think it's a good hire. I think it's a decent hire.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that he had a lot more talent at Miami, and he probably kind of disappointed. Where at Duke, you're not going to have that level of talent, so you have to do more with less. I think he was doing less with more at Miami. So
less than who?
Switch,
who of the last 10 coaches, or I guess after Larry Coker, has done anything?
No, I'm saying with less talent. I'm not comparing him to other Miami coaches. I'm just saying his record and what Miami did.
They should be winning more games based on the talent they had at Miami.
Well, we've been saying that for 20 years about Miami. Maybe the talent isn't so good at Miami. Maybe it's all overrated, and maybe there's less talent there than.
Well, you're our recruiting expert, go-to guy here. So
I would be inclined to tout Miami's talent based on that, but I think leaning on.
I think it's more than Duke's. I think they have more talent than Duke.
True.
So I think, Duke is probably going to be middle of the road or worse as far as level of talent in the ACC. So can he finish in the top half of the ACC with not top half talent? That's the question. I don't know if he's the guy that'll do that.
I don't think he's a bad coach.
I don't know if he is either. I just don't know if it's a great hire.
Yeah, I'm not ready to say it's a terrible hire, but I don't know that. I was a bit shocked at this. They could have got Jon Sumrall. They could have got a slew of other coaches. I thought that I'll be honest, like James Madison, we can transition into this, hired Bob Chesney from Holy Cross. I think that's a more proven
dynamic hire. Yeah.
Yes. Than Manny Diaz.
I will say sometimes the coach's second go around, he learns a lot from his first go around that necessarily didn't work out. So, maybe he learned from those 3 years at Miami. Maybe he changes a few things up, and that's me trying to look at it optimistically. I don't know, man. We'll see. Time will tell.
Let's talk about Bob Chesney going from Holy Cross to James Madison. I think this is one where James Madison. There's a track record here. If you look at FCS coaches jumping up, or ones with track records of the FCS or D2 or something, and I know that you could for every great name you could also throw in who was Will Healy at Charlotte, but I would argue that I think majority. You look at Lance Leipold, Chris Kleiman, you look at Kalen DeBauer. That's another one. They've really kind of worked out, and maybe Mike Houston would be one that would say maybe didn't work out, but we'll see. He's got ECU's schedule looks amazing next year.
I mean, 8-5 last year. That's the most successful season they've had.
Dude, I just saw ECU's schedule to the AAC. They didn't drop which dates, but the opponents were getting. I'm like, man, should kind of be favored in almost every game.
Could be a bounce back year.
Yeah. But I do think the Chesney hire, talking about it, what he did at Holy Cross, and Matthew Slook is in the portal. I'm assuming some of the I did see their star tight end land at UVA though. Ooh. So some of them not following him to James Madison. But what do you make of the hire, Patty?
You got to love it. Of course, we talked extensively about Chesney, and what he had done at Holy Cross, turning them into a pretty damn good program. Young, handsome son of a gun. Bringing a lot of energy. It's funny. Signetti on the way out the door, a lot of the JMU fans are either being complete douchebags or maybe they're right. He did. I think he said all the right things, but you could tell kind of that his enthusiasm about the university wasn't there. He was ready to leave. Whereas Chesney seems like a more enthusiastic dude that might buy in. Still, you're at JMU, you're kidding yourself if you don't think this guy's gone in 3 or 4 years. So whatever, ride it, take his energy and get some wins with it.
NC Nick, what do you make of the hire?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to lean more on you guys because I don't watch the FCS quite as much. But in general, I like what you said. I like taking a shot at a guy who's proven at that record. At that level, because I think usually they do find success at the FBS level as well.
Yeah, and one thing I do see regarding Manny Diaz is they play at Middle Tennessee this year. Manny Diaz 0-2 against the Conference USA at Miami So he'll get a third shot to get that first win against the CUSA.
There we go.
All right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else and so now I guess Troy has the opening job. Maybe Rich Rod. I don't know. What does Troy do?
Seems pretty lateral at this point.
Well, is Tulane that much better of a job than Troy too?
Yes.
Yes. Is it clearly that much better?
I think for 2 reasons right now. I think you're in New Orleans. I think Willie Fritz has ignited a fan base that wants more winning, right? And I also think the AAC is easier to win right now. There's so much unknown in the AAC.
Right.
With SMU leaving this next year.
Right. You
basically had SMU, Houston, UCF, Cincy all leave in the past couple of years. I got no fucking idea. Short of UTSA returning Trailer. That's why I'm optimistic. When I saw ECU's schedule, I was like, well, fuck. Why couldn't it be us? Now, I Biff Poggi, I do expect to win a couple national championships, but I mean, I think the Sun Belt. You look at the Sun Belt and you think that's a much harder grind right now than the AAC, especially.
Of course, he has won the Sun Belt in both of his first 2 years there, so he's established that he can do that.
Yeah, I just think it's a better gig.
Oh, apparently he agreed.
Another thing is like Patty C's thing of like Tulane. I don't think they're that far away from a P5 invite. They used to be in the SEC.
They are the next team up. Them in Memphis. If there are two.
And they're the number 2 team in the state. Troy, you can make a case. They're like the number 5 team in the state with the way South Alabama and Jacksonville State are going. Like, yes, right now they're probably number 3 in the state, but they could easily be number 5. Whereas I think Tulane's pretty cut and dry number 2.
Yeah. There's no competition.
Yeah. And I think it's easier to recruit to New Orleans than Troy, Alabama. True. So, I don't know. Some stuff there, folks. We got football games we could talk about too.
Nice.
Let's get into it.
I like talking about football games.
I don't know who's playing in these football games, but I think we should get into it. Let's go. Friday. By the way, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. Gonna go ahead and say that last Friday's Furman Montana game, best game of the college football season this past year.
I heard you say that on the main show too. I don't know. It was a great game.
What was better than that? Maybe Washington, Oregon.
Both of them?
No, the first one. Second one wasn't as good.
Yeah.
College football campus tour was at that game, right? Michael Barker.
Yeah.
You guy's an all-star.
But that game was fucking awesome, dude. That was like, I honestly watched that whole game and I'm like, there was not many better. I'm sorry, like the conference championship weekend was kind of duds. Georgia, Alabama, I didn't think was that entertaining. You know what I mean?
Well, I told you guys that week that usually the last week of the regular season is so much better than conference championship week.
And I can't help but think, and I want to hammer this home too. When we're about to call out these bowl games, another element to expanding the playoffs is you won't have all these fucking opt-outs or coaching fucking changes. Or if they do, because I know that North Dakota State's coach is leaving, right? Maybe you get. I think it cuts it down some. It'll cut it down some. So that is one of the it's amazing how many people I think are supportive of the 4-team system. And then like, do you look at the bowl games? You can't find many games.
Not at all.
Look at what the sport has become. It is a shell of like the things that they claim they love. You know, like the bowl games don't matter at all. The transfer portal, all of that stuff, the NIL, it's not 1995 anymore. Okay. Like it's a different game. So if you're going to use those concepts as why you love the game, you're not getting those. It's a different thing.
I think if they would have had a larger playoff this year, you would probably see Willie Fritz still at Tulane, right? You would see Michael Pratt still playing at Tulane. You would see Sam Hartman still playing at Notre Dame because they'd be in the playoffs.
Sure.
You can go one by one on these, and you would have a much healthier postseason as far as from a viewing product.
And there's probably a trickle down effect to that. You know, if the very best players in college football are staying put, then maybe it's a little less likely that the other guys are changing teams.
I've been telling you guys too, as much as the G5 is going to be, they're going to have one team in the playoff, but for the most part, they're going to be completely left out. The G5 needs to do their own playoff. Yeah. I think that would be great. I mean, they can, have it at home field environments and then somewhere else. I just think that would be fun. And I think that would also potentially keep coaches and players. I don't think most of the time it's not the players. Well, no, because I mean, a bunch of them are transferring too. I think if there's something to play for, a playoff where they can say we're the best G5 team.
Let me push back on you a little bit. An invitational tournament, and that truly would be one because there's no championship on the line there.
Well, there would be. It would be the G5 championship trophy.
Well, you might as well make it the FCS championship or whatever the fuck that would be. Like, I don't know that really high-end NFL caliber players are going to stick around for the G5 playoffs. I think you need to expand the playoffs to have more.
That's what I was about to say, but I don't think 12 fits that. I think 12, you still have chaos. If you had 24, then you're talking about, okay, maybe DJU, Jonathan Smith still at Oregon State. You're talking about majority, not majority, but a lot. Dylan Gabriel still at Oklahoma. You got this thing right now at 12. You're thinking maybe what Notre Dame and maybe Tulane. That's the two that I was thinking like would probably be in on the 12, and not even Tulane because Tulane lost. It would probably be the Flamin' Libs. I don't know.
Going back to my model though, it's not like there's a bunch of high-end NFL talent in the G5 anyway. So most of the players that are leaving are transferring. They're not like, sitting.
It would be better than bowls.
Yeah,
right about that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Anyway, let's get into it. Friday college football. What's not to like? I'm hitting you with this first. We have a big time national championship on the line here. Yes, a national champion will be crowned. North Central. That game against Wartburg was absolutely insane. I talk shit to you guys. I sent you guys a text say because North Central, not North Carolina Central, North Central Illinois was up 27-0. And I said, you fucking idiots, Wartburg sucks. Well, Wartburg scored 27 unanswered to tie it up. And then Central gets the game-winning touchdown 34-27 as they move along to take on Cortland, who just destroyed Randolph-Macon 49-14. This game, I do believe, is on ESPNU. North Central, Cortland going head-to-head.
Where are these two teams? What states are these two teams located in?
North Central is in Illinois. Cortland's in Arkansas.
Ooh. Little
And
mid-America.
the game is at, I think, the home field of North Central in Naperville, Illinois.
Naperville.
Do we
That's
have a line, Colby?
No, but we still got to pick it. All right.
North Central all day. Get this sunny Cortland out of here.
I am thinking that North Central, they were in it last year. There's pedigree on the line here. And Cortland, they're known as the Red Dragons. No. I can't take the Red Dragons as a fucking skateboard company. What the fuck's going on here? What? Give me the Cardinals, North Central, the Cardinals. It's been a special year for Central.
They dominate D3.
Yeah, let's go.
My understanding is that Naperville is essentially the Ashburn of Illinois in the Chicagoland area.
Ashburn's never been that cool to host FC or D2, or D3, I should say. Yeah,
Still, it has become a rich suburb. Maybe North Central's on their way up. Maybe the NIL at North Central. Wait, does D3 have NIL? What's the deal with that? Do we know anything about
Probably
that?
Not.
Yeah, they all get a Gatorade before they play. All right. Who are you taking, Patty C? You taking Central or you taking Cortland?
Give me North Central, baby.
Yeah, let's go. All right, then at Friday, look, you can do 2 screens. You're gonna need the 2-screen setup because not only do you have who is it? Is it Gonzaga UConn going on at the same time?
Ooh.
Right? This Friday. You also have, and I was spot on. I was fucking spot on with what essentially happened in Moscow, Idaho. They faded Reese Poffenbarger. And the Poff went off. All right. The Poff went off and he fucked up. That game was awesome too. That was a very fun watch as Albany went in to Moscow, Idaho and got the dub as a 6-point or 5-point dog. They won outright. And now they had, and I'll be honest, if you didn't catch that Villanova South Dakota State game last week, I think if South Dakota State doesn't block that punt, they lose that game. They had a block punt for a touchdown. Nova was moving the ball on them. I thought better than South Dakota State was moving it on them. That win was.
Nova is a common opponent too, because Albany beat them 31-10 back in September.
And South Dakota State. Here's the thing. If you watch the Nova South Dakota State game Saturday, the wind was so crazy. I mean, I think both coaches lost play sheets to the fucking wind. It was absolutely insane. Like honestly, throwing a forward pass or punting the ball, like the side of the field you were on, it reminded me of the '86 NFC Championship. It was very, very key. So the wind, the temperature, not supposed to be as bad. There you go. Shout out to Hauck. There you go. Not supposed to be as bad. The temperature's still cold as fuck, but the wind was like crazy on this past Saturday. I actually think that favors Albany.
Well, you can't say that necessarily favors Albany. South Dakota State is in Brookings year round.
No, I'm saying the fact that Villanova
it's not going to be windy.
Yes,
I think Albany will be more prepared for it than Villanova will.
No.
I told you guys last week the Albany passing attack in the dome was going to go off, and it did. So Colby is saying if they had to play in very windy conditions in South Dakota this week, it would be rough.
They're not built.
I completely agree.
They're not built to just bang with South Dakota State. They have to have the low winds to be able to stretch the field vertically.
So it favors South Dakota State is what you're saying.
No.
The weather not being bad is good for Albany.
Oh, because it's going to be
nice
weather. Okay.
It's going to be cold.
For
but
Villanova,
not crazy windy.
it actually favored Villanova to cover that game and potentially win it. They covered for sure. But I thought it was a perfect blueprint for Villanova being able to beat them before that block punt happened. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. But I actually think, because I know some people were saying, man, if they can get the wins like this, I actually think Albany would certainly lose if they had the conditions they had a week ago. But with the wind being less of a factor from a projection standpoint, I think that helps Albany be able to throw the ball.
Meteorologist Colby Dent.
It matters, dude. You didn't watch that Villanova game, I take it.
No, I completely agree
highlights.
I completely agree with what Colby's saying. So I think it's the conditions are in Albany's favor, and that's why I think they're going to cover. I don't know if this is a money line play. I think the Jackrabbits are a step up in weight class, but we're going big Poff to at least cover. Keep the game within a couple touchdowns or so.
21 and a half
Too much.
points. 21.
Give me the points
Get
all
the
day.
fuck out of
Go
here.
Great Danes.
I still say you sprinkle the money line because I think Poff is good enough that he could. Now I worry about the run defense. Right,
Yeah.
Albany can get after the quarterback, but they did give up a 100-yard rusher to Idaho, and Isaiah Davis.
This is gonna be a big game.
He's a future NFL running back. That I worry about. But I think Poff and that offense can stress out South Dakota State's defense. And that's why I think you take the points. That's why I think they're live to still win the game. But they definitely have to work on bottling up the fucking run at the Dyke House.
Exactly. And you guys know that he's a close personal friend of mine. So,
well,
Poffenbarger?
yeah, that's true. He gives, I still tout my Tom Cruise friendship higher than him. But
Nick's Poffenbarger follow is bigger than your Cruise follow. Let's be honest.
Stop it. Tom's a great guy. And we're going to share a few cocktails later tonight.
Hey, I got a Jim McMahon follow. I got the best follow.
Oh,
that's true.
That
is true.
Tough.
That is true. That's a good fucking, that's a good point. He's been on the show too. Great guy. Patty C, are you taking the points with Big Puff?
I think I am. I think that Hauck in particular, but I think you guys are right. They're probably a Northeastern team well prepared for the cold tundra. If they're able to throw the ball around, that probably helps them. And like Nick said, the common opponent suggests that they're, going to hang with South Dakota State. I'd be lying if I said, here's my one question. We have seen North Dakota State be the beneficiary of some pretty questionable calls over the years. Is South Dakota State entering and the Dakotas in general, like the blue bloods of the FCS at the moment, are they going to get favorable calls? Still 21.5 is too many. Give me Albany, but I wouldn't be surprised that in the semifinals, we start to see some bullshit emerge, even at the FCS level.
Yeah. And I even worried about this. You saw Furman starting quarterback Tyler Huff and Idaho starting quarterback Giovanni McCoy. They hit the portal right after they lost. If you keep winning, the portal shuts on you. This is why the NCAA's got to get their shit together.
Yeah.
Because if you're Reese Poffenbarger, you're thinking, hey, Auburn's calling me. Maybe I need to fucking lose this game. I know I'm not saying Reese's going to do that, but I'm just saying there's a problem because the FCS national championship was like January fucking 7th. The portal shuts like a couple days after that. We saw this last year. And this is another element that's hilarious about the transfer portal. Without any structure, some of the shittier offensive linemen and defensive linemen got big paydays last season just because they were first to the fucking party. Because they were first to the party, then people added in late, but other teams didn't want to drop them because they'd already committed to paying this guy. It's just a complete shit show. But something to monitor moving forward, I think, is they got to correct this because I could totally see a snenario where a star FCS player is like, wait a second, if we keep winning, I won't end up with the payday.
They start throwing games.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't it? If this is all centered around money, why wouldn't it?
Yeah. If you got a cool mill on the line, you might think about it.
Yeah,
exactly. Tony Muskett got that UVA.
Took you a burrito, Patty C. Can you imagine if they were offering you $1 million and a burrito?
Are we locking this game up?
Yes.
Jenna wants her theme song. Is it a triple lock?
Where's my theme music?
Play the music.
Well,
I feel better about this.
Well, let's get into Saturday's action. But before I do that, I'm going to go chronologically on Saturday. All right. I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit Hall of Fame Bets, hofbets.com, and use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. They're going to remind you that Jackie Slater was once blocking for the LA Rams. All right. So what are you doing? Start researching. Start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. Saturday, we got games. One of them starts at 8 a.m. Pacific. And it is Georgia Southern in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Georgia Southern laying 3.5 against Ohio. But remember, Ohio's starting quarterback. You might remember him, Curtis Rourke, and these are the breaks. He's in the portal. Both their top rushers are in the portal. Their backup quarterback, who we saw against San Diego State, is out for the season because he got injured. And their top wideout is in the portal.
Well, not Wigglers. Wigglers isn't in the portal, is he?
I think he is. Right?
I thought it was the other guy, Crossed or something.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Hold on. I
could be wrong too. It's like I said, it's tough to keep track of the portal.
Where the hell's my theme sheet? You're right. It's Cross. Yeah. Oh, but their top linebacker is out too. He's in the portal.
Yeah.
So I got Georgia Southern. Sign me up for Georgia Southern.
They haven't won a game since October. Losers of 4 straight.
Who the hell's played for Ohio? If you're on your third string quarterback, your
Parker
third string running back.
Say his name. He's a transfer from Central Florida. He's a senior. This is a Disney story here. This guy.
And who's the running back?
I don't know. This guy transfers in, never plays. He gets one game to go out on a high note. I mean, Georgia Southern, they had a similar end to last year also, fading down the stretch big time, and that culminated in losing to a bowl game to Buffalo.
And I do see, by the way, for Georgia Southern, wide receiver Anthony Quealy, former Syracuse, transfers out, as well as running back Jalen White. I got no fucking idea. Give me Georgia Southern. I feel good about Georgia Southern just because that's a 2-hour drive. I've done that drive from Myrtle Beach to Statesboro, or right around Statesboro to Savannah, essentially. I think that's I think that's the play. I think you lay the points. Clay Helton needs it more too. They're talking about firing him. I'm on those message boards. I see that. I see what they're saying. Right, 7-6 is cools it a little bit.
Georgia Southern, the number 1 most passing attempts in all of college football this year. Ohio, the number 7 passing defense in college football. They're going to put the clamps on that Georgia Southern passing attack. But you do have a point. Ohio, Myrtle Beach is like the fucking Bahamas or the Hawaii for Ohio people. You know, they're probably going to be partying their ass off down in Myrtle Beach. Maybe they're not ready for that game. But
that's
still, I'm going Bobcats.
Statesboro's close to Savannah. They're used to fucking getting fucked up.
I think it's easy to look at it and say, you know, who's not there for Ohio. And I certainly don't love taking the Bobcats here, but they are my MAC school. They do have a real live defense. They're going to win the turnover battle by they're probably going to pick off lawn chair Bryn about 3 times. I'm taking the Bobcats in the points.
Yeah, we Hauck saying these games are nuts. Will there be opportunities to wager on spring football games? This is essentially what they are. They are like a spring game now. It's like you got the third string
glorified exhibitions.
Yeah. Davis Bryn tied for the most in college football with 16 interceptions. So 3, that seems a little high, but not too far off his normal pace.
Okay, well, next up we jump over to a game that I'm pretty fascinated by. I was shocked by this line. The Celebration Bowl going on. Florida A&M, Willie Simmons, the former Clemson starting quarterback, doing a great job at head coach there. Jeremy Mosa, the former Vanderbilt Commodore quarterback, came in there 11-1 season. Their only loss was to an FBS. Meanwhile, Howard upset North Carolina Central, which sent North Carolina Central to the FCS playoffs where they lost to Richmond. But Howard 6-5, but almost beat Northwestern, almost beat Eastern Michigan. This game going on in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, that filthy stadium in Atlanta. Terrible spot for a football game. However, I was surprised. This is the Courtney Love game of the week. It opened at 7. It's down to 5.5.
Ooh, money coming in on the Bison too.
What is going on here? I gotta take Florida A&M, but I'm terrified of this matchup because that doesn't make sense. I thought it'd be a double-digit spread.
Dive into this stink.
We're diving into this thing.
I'm proud of you.
I'm gonna dive
you
into.
smell that Courtney Love, and you go in for it.
I damn sure am not betting this game, but I think the Rattlers are hands down the better team. How do you not take them?
11-1. Their one loss at USF. Howard, meanwhile, 6-5. Plenty of terrible losses there.
But they played Northwestern. They lost by 3 at Northwestern, who won 7 games in the Big Ten. They lost by 10 at Eastern Michigan on that Gray Maction factory field. I don't know. They also got worked. They lost by 41 to Harvard. So I don't know. I'm all over the Rattlers, but it stinks.
Now that NC Central is gone, is the SWAC just 10 times better than the MEAC?
No, Central's still in the MEAC.
A&T's gone.
A&T is gone.
A&T rather. Sorry. A&T, but yeah, the question still stands. A 6-5 team playing in the Celebration Bowl. And what you said earlier is what's ass backwards about HBCU football. Can the Celebration Bowl be a playoff game, please?
No,
loser
because
of the
they don't make enough
Celebration
money.
Bowl, the loser of the Celebration Bowl should not be going to the FCS playoffs. The winner of the Celebration Bowl should be going to the FCS playoff. It's fucked up. We got to fix this thing.
Yeah, but they need to put more money in it then, because it's just
They do.
Can't blame
either
them.
way,
Yeah.
the South is college football. The nation's capital is certainly not college football, and that's why the Rattlers are going to beat down Howard.
Jay Walker would like to have a word with you.
Yeah, I'm
all
on
right,
the
now-
Rattlers.
Yeah, Rattlers. It's almost too obvious. That means Howard's definitely going to win on the money line. Let's go to New Orleans, and I got to be honest. I'm going to say this is the best bowl game of them all. From a player still in it standpoint,
Even in the Superdome, huh?
well, I'm just saying, like, at least everyone's playing. The staffs are intact. But watch Rich Rod be hired at Troy tonight, and that'll fuck up this game. But first, I guess NC Nick, we have the NAIA National Championship going on in Durham, North Carolina.
You don't say.
Wait, actually, that's in. I think that's next week, actually. But get ready for Northwestern Iowa taking on Kaiser Sose.
I'll start doing my homework.
Yeah,
No more than 30 seconds talking about the NAIA championship.
dude, at least they got players playing.
Well, this
fuck?
Saturday,
What are we talking about here?
This Saturday, I already saw Blanton Stanley in the chat, our App State guy. This Saturday, I'll be at the Gardner Webb App State basketball game. But I think next Saturday, I'm wide open, so maybe I got to go to that NAIA game.
Yeah, let's go. December 18th. What day is that? The fuck day is the 18th? What is that?
Nick Dan is giving Michael Barker a run for his money as far as going to random football games.
Not even close, man. That dude, the 18th is a Monday.
Hell yeah, we got fucking NAIA National Championship Monday. What are you doing? Quit
Monday
work.
Night Football. Take on the NFL. I like it.
Biggest ratings are on Monday night. NAIA knows what they're doing.
According to their website, it's a noon kick. What are you doing?
Kinda
You're right
working.
there. Nah, you take the day off. Look, your boss will understand it. Say Northwestern and Kaiser are going at it. Kaiser's 10-2 and Northwestern Iowa's 14-0.
I'm
All
sure
right.
she will.
Yeah, but the FBS, you're going to interrupt their academics. These guys probably have a final exam scheduled at that exact moment.
Well, we have to pick that game because we're not going to see us until next Wednesday.
All right, what are we doing?
That's true. What are we doing here?
NAIA.
No, I think you got to ride Northwestern Iowa. They're actually better than the other Northwestern, I think. Look, because they played for the national championship last year. They didn't lose this year. They're 14-0.
Yeah. Okay.
Howard kept it within 3 with the 7-win Northwestern team in the Big Ten. I think Northwestern Iowa can take down the Northwestern Wildcats and Kaiser, Florida. Kaiser and is an insurance company they're taking on. The fuck is happening? Patty C, what are you doing here? I'm on Northwestern.
Look, I am a loyal member, patron, what have you, of Kaiser. So give me Kaiser. You know, they provide
the medical center,
solid health care, and I'm gonna ride with them.
Yeah, they keep
That's my analysis.
They keep my Oxycontin rolling in. All right, don't worry about it. All right, let's jump back to New Orleans, where you forget Rich Rod. He's no stranger to New Orleans. He was the offensive coordinator on their national championship team in '98 that won the Natty with the Tulane Green Wave. He's back to the scene of the crime. Jacksonville State's laying 3 against Mike Devereaux. Check us out. We almost have a completely clean fucking slate here. The only guy out is linebacker Kendra Grant, who hit the portal. I'm sorry, Kendra Gant. He's pretty good though. But hey, I'm locking up Jacksonville -3.
I'm with you.
Who's coming?
Yeah, I mean, come on, they should be favored by a touchdown.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean,
you got Zion Van Wilder Webb trying to end his 7-year collegiate career on a high note. There's your motivation right there, and obviously you got a major head coaching advantage with Jacksonville State as well. The Raging Cajuns are not the same team as they used to be. I'm on Jacksonville State all day.
Patty C.
I think the demise of the Raging Cajuns is greatly exaggerated. I think they, despite the 6-6 record, had some reasonable losses. 11 points at Minnesota, 7 at Old Dominion, 3 against Georgia State rather, who was decent.
Dude,
Southern
they lost to Southern Miss.
Okay, that was in overtime, and then Troy, the Sun Belt West champions, or the Sun Belt champions, I should say, in overtime, or no, by 7 rather, on the road. So I think maybe they're rebounding and having a decent year. Although I would say the same thing about Jacksonville State. I think they're pretty damn good.
You're picking Rich Rod.
What's the number on that? That's 3.
Yeah.
That's 3.
This guy's dancing around.
Yeah, I am going Rich Rod. You're right.
Is that Swayze over there?
But who's betting on Louisiana here?
Yeah.
Maybe the good folks in Lafayette.
As long as Rich Rod doesn't take the Troy job, they are winning this game. Lock it up. They're going to get after it hard.
Is not taking the Troy job.
They were going hard.
I've already bet this, so hang in there for a couple more days, Rich Rod.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't you? They offer more money. This is a capitalistic society, Patty C.
Because Rich Rod has one more chance to get to the Power 5. You think it'll never happen. I think next year he'll get if they win 10 games next year, Rich Rod will get a Power 5 offer.
I still think they offer him the money, he would go.
But he'll have to restart over. I mean, that's just like,
and he's already living in Alabama.
Yeah, but you're like, all right, let me ask you this.
Restart. I mean, they're coming into a good situation. It's not like you're coming into a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
If the fucking Action Network offered you like a $1,000 a year raise, right? Would you completely shift teams?
That's complete.
See you guys.
No, that's
John and Ryan. Are you listening?
that's a terrible comparison because I would not want to work for those hacks. Troy takes football more serious than Jacksonville State, I think.
You think? I don't know. I think lateral moves, especially on people with short timelines that stand to make huge money if they wait another year, don't make sense. Rich Rod should stick around, but you could be right. You never know in this landscape of college football.
Yeah, Willie Fritz. Remember when he turned down Georgia Tech? He's like, I'm going to retire in New Orleans. Me and my wife are retiring in New Orleans. He's at fucking Houston.
1 year later.
Yeah. All right. Look, next up. That. By the way, is that a triple lock?
Yeah. Lock it up.
Friends through eternity, loyalty, honesty will stay together through thick or thin.
Next, we're going to the Cure Bowl. Patty C, you said your favorite band was the Cure, right?
Sure. New wave. I don't know anything about new wave music, but it seems emo enough that I'm wearing the sad boy glasses here. Yeah. Give me the Cure.
Look, I mean, whether it's the Green Wave or New Wave, we're talking all about it here on the College Football Experience.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
Miami, Ohio is catching 6.5 in Orlando, Florida against Appalachian State. Now, the problem with Appalachian State is what? Ryan Berger isn't going to play, but Nate Noel's in the portal. Let me
Berger's a backup anyway. You got Aguilar.
Okay, that can still matter. Nate Noel and also Deshaun Davis hit the portal, right? They're wide receiver.
That's manageable though, because App always has a stable of running backs, and they actually have a bunch of pass catchers this year too.
But wait, Brett Gabbert obviously out for the year, but didn't Avion Smith hit the portal too?
He did hit the portal. So the starter is going to be Henry Hessen, a sophomore who hasn't taken a snap this year. Although last year he did go 2 for 5 for 37 yards.
See, my handicap on the SGP show, I didn't know that Avion Smith was in the portal. I think that was a recent thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, this guy, Henry Hessen, he can't be much worse at throwing the ball than Avion
It sounds
Smith.
like a bad guy in a Western movie.
Henry Hessen.
Oh, Henry Hessen. Right? All
But
right.
at least
the king of the 6-shooter. All right,
at
Henry
least
Hessen.
Shut up. At least Avion Smith could, do some stuff with his legs. I don't think Hessen has that capability. So Miami, Ohio does still have a really good defense, but I got to roll with my guys in Boone here and go App State and lay the points.
That's a kind of a huge nugget to know. When I did the SGP show, we didn't know that Avion Smith was missing. I don't know. I'm out. Give me App State now. I took Miami, Ohio on their show, but no, you can't take a third string quarterback
Who hasn't taken a snap all year.
Yeah. What are you doing here, Patty C?
Comparable offenses, Miami, Ohio. What number? Oh, I'm looking at that wrong. I'm looking at Miami, Florida. Where is Miami, Ohio? Miami. What is the effect of Nate Noel's transfer? Let me ask you guys that.
They're loaded at running back. I think App
They
State
always
is
are.
just fine. Yeah, I mean they got Kanye Roberts, they got Haywood, Anderson Castle.
They've
They're
been
fine
good at
back.
running back since John Settle.
That's a throwback.
See if people know that one.
Let me tell you this.
Arrington
though.
Evans, a little bit more modern.
John Settle won a Super Bowl, I believe. Was he on that Redskins Super Bowl team? I'm not sure.
App State has been playing good football, but they did get shellacked in the conference championship game. Meanwhile, I do believe that Miami, Ohio is in the midst of a special year. Does it have something to do with the fact that they beat Cincinnati a little bit? But was I right about them in the conference championship game against Toledo? Yes, I was. And I'm going to be right about it in the bowl game. They're going to beat App State 6.5. Fuck that. Money line it, Miami, Ohio.
They're on their third string quarterback.
I don't give a fuck.
All right, moving along. Next up, we're going to jump back to the FCS. We're North Dakota State. This is classic. North Dakota State's head coach. North Dakota State looking like a team that, had lost their way and just refound their identity. And then they won. They whooped South Dakota's ass at South Dakota. Beat Montana State the week before in Bozeman. Everything's looking like this team could make a run and win the Natty. But then their head coach, Matt Entz, says, guess what? I quit. I'm taking the linebacker job at USC.
So what's the status on that? Is he
After
quitting?
the season?
After the season.
Still, I don't give a fuck. Because right now, they don't know who they're hiring. We see the portal. I think these players are going to be hitting the portal. I think Entz could bring other coaches with him. This is a fucking absolute worst thing that could happen. Bobby Hauck in Montana. Talk about a great story. They're almost like North Dakota State too, because out the gate they look pretty shaky. They barely beat Butler. They found the right quarterback, and ever since then they've been in cruise control. I am all over the Washington. Washington Grizzly Stadium is what I was going to say. I'm all over the Montana Grizzlies at Washington Grizzly Stadium. Give me them outright. They're going to fuck them up, dude. What are you doing?
I don't know about they're going to fuck them up, but I do think that, along with the coaching drama, this will be North Dakota State's third straight road trip. I think that's bound to catch up with you sooner.
They should have lost in Bozeman.
Montana is undefeated.
They were dominant. Yeah,
undefeated at home this year. 11 straight home wins, and also it's a bit of a revenge game because last year in the second round of the FCS playoffs, North Dakota State beat Montana in the Fargo Dome. So, revenge game. Montana gets it done this year.
Ever since Bobby Hauck went with Clifton McDowell, the dual threat quarterback, that has been a game changer, and I think that's the difference. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Well, what North Dakota State team shows up? Is it the team that lucked up at Montana State 2 weeks ago, or is it the team that shellacked South Dakota last week?
Well, I would argue that South Dakota just got fortunate with the seeding, and also a dome team against a dome team.
Still, they beat Drake 66-3 in the first round of the playoffs.
Still, Drake's not that good, but yeah.
And
they're playing good ball.
They might have got lucky to beat Montana State, but to even be in that game, Montana State is also a team that hardly ever loses at home. So
Yeah.
in order to even be in the game here, that shows you North Dakota State is at the top level. I don't even, this probably doesn't even need to be said, but obviously North Dakota State is at the very top level of the FCS.
You know what? And again, foul play is a possibility here. They want to see South Dakota State and North Dakota State in the championship game. Give me North Dakota State. They do.
Do they? Because I think Matt Entz is checking real estate in Palos Verdes. Weehawk says success at NDSU associate head coach. Is there an earlier way for Entz to get a head coaching job? I do think he probably looks around and sees his DC of last year's the head coach at Northwestern.
Yeah.
Chris Kleiman's the head coach at Kansas State. Craig Bull, head coach. You know, he was on the staffs of all of those and
was the head coach of Wyoming.
Yeah. Well, he's got one more game.
Well, what kind of Big Ten? Did any of those guys get a Big Ten job? I mean, I guess
yes.
K-State is
no Braun at Northwestern.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
it took some crazy circumstances for that to happen, but still.
But still, he's making more money than Entz is right now. Entz is like, what the fuck? But
a car wash or two later, you know, you're a head coach.
Look, Entz should have factored in the flying squirrel. So you go elsewhere, you got to go to a school with that does the flying squirrel because your chances of being this, you know, you can rise up the ranks faster.
What school is most likely? Let's predict this right now to have a sexual scandal.
Arkansas. They hired Petrino. That's minus 10,000. Minus 10,000. I would also say after that, it's a little. It's the St. John's count with Patino.
Could definitely happen.
Anyway,
New York streetwalkers.
So wait, you're on the Bison though. You're on the Bison.
I'm on the Bison.
And your picture gonna be horrible this week, buddy. All right. Next up, we jump back to the Bulls, and Diego pissing Pavia. He's not gonna have to go far from Las Cruces to Albuquerque, where he pissed on the logo of New Mexico. This is the New Mexico Bowl. I mean, is it even fun to be in if you're in New Mexico State and we're in the New Mexico Bowl? You couldn't send them to fucking somewhere else.
Yeah, true.
But at the same
fill
time,
that stadium out somehow.
But that's far.
Is this New Mexico Bowl new, or is this has this been a thing?
It's been going on
A few years, I think.
Yeah.
And you saw New Mexico hire Bronco Mendenhall too, right? Did we talk about that? I don't know that we did.
We did last week, I think.
Okay.
It's gonna be fucking
Well, for this game, Jeff Tedford is out. He's got some health reasons. Also, Logan Fife, the backup quarterback, is out. Diego pissing Pavia might not be playing this game.
Ooh.
That's something to monitor. Also, wide receiver Trent Hudson, who had 10 touchdowns for them.
I hadn't seen Pavia up close. You're right. That dude would whoop some ass.
Why would he not be playing in this game? Is he banged up?
Yeah, he got injured in the Conference USA Championship. Couldn't finish the game.
That's
so
right.
he's not hitting the portal. Don't worry. Diego pissing Pavia is back next year in Las Cruces.
Well, that makes a huge difference, though. So this is Saturday evening. I mean, I wonder if we're going to get an update before kickoff, because that's with him. I'm on New Mexico State.
Yeah, and also their backup Blaze Berlowitz. Great names. Diego pissing Pavia and Blaze Berlowitz. Berlowitz is questionable. I mean, I got no fucking dude. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I just think it's okay. Let's just pretend that pissing Pavia is going to play. If so, I think you have to look at who's the hotter team. New Mexico State won 8 in a row before losing that Conference USA Championship game, and Fresno has limped to the finish line, losing their last 3 games. Coach is not going to be there. I think the only thing that kind of scares me is the Mountain West is that much better than the Conference USA. I'm on New Mexico State, barring Pavia plays.
I think this might help too. High of 45 on Saturday. I mean, Fresno gets a little cold, but I feel like Las Cruces probably gets colder. So
yeah,
probably.
I'll take New Mexico State. I don't feel, dude. This is pissing in the wind. We have no Tedford at Fresno State. I think that I'm sure Tedford's staff, as you see Caleb DeBauer kill it, and I forget his OC from last year who went to Missouri.
Think it's pissing in the wind. I think Fresno laid clunkers down the stretch. I think New Mexico State looked damn good down the stretch, and the score against Liberty was misleading. They might have even been able to win that game. New Mexico State, I'm comfortable. I'm definitely. I'm gonna lock New Mexico.
Wait a second. You know they might start their third string quarterback though.
I mean, look, Pavia may be a tough guy, but is he, Mr. Are we
But
looking
buddy, the backup is questionable too, man. Berlowitz.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying. So it is pissing in the wind. If they're starting the third string quarterback, then that to me is.
I do have an update saying Jerry Kill indicated that Pavia will be available for the bowl game against Fresno.
See, you know what you love about Diego Pavia is he's a wrestler. He's not like one of these little bitch quarterbacks these days. He's real. He'll go to your rival's team and piss on their field. All right. That is why New Mexico State is the play. Patty C, it seems like we're all on board here.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
Is this a lock? Is this a lock?
Lock it up.
Let's do it.
All right.
Nobody knows nothing. Somebody knows. Double the price. But no one touches Dundee.
Friends through eternity, loyalty, honesty will stay
Let's
together
take
through thick or thin.
one more opportunity to point out that New Mexico State whipped the dog shit out of Auburn 1 week before Alabama escaped Auburn on a Hail Mary. And Alabama is in the college football playoffs somehow. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Okay, let's go to the LA Bowl where someone offered me free tickets and I declined.
What is Starco? Starco Brands LA Bowl?
I got no idea.
Anybody tell me what
even
Starco is?
Don't even fucking
No
start
idea.
with me.
Okay, we're gonna find out.
This
here.
is the second year that the LA Bulls offered me free tickets. And I go, no, I'm okay. I'm okay.
It's 5 minutes from my house,
Yeah.
but no, I'm good.
Yeah. If you played it at the Coliseum, I'd probably do it. But it's at that filthy bullshit Ram Stadium over there by the airport.
Actually, this could be kind of fun here. So it's a liquor company.
Oh, okay.
They have
Maybe I should go.
Whip shots, vodka, whipped cream. What is going on?
Whipped
here?
cream. Patty C's been doing whippets in the fucking the parking lot a couple times at
says-
outside the UCLA games.
Boozy just met bougie.
What?
What the fuck is this? It's a whip shot, vodka infused whipped cream.
Boozy
Okay.
just met Bougie.
Boozy
Okay.
met bougie.
Okay.
Get it?
I'm sold.
So with Boise State, you have what? Their top receiver hit the portal. Taylor Green, also their quarterback, hit the portal. Spencer Danielson, the interim head coach, has been named the head coach. So that's some continuity there. And then you look at UCLA, and good God, you got what? Their defensive coordinator, Deonton Lynn, jumps to USC. Their quarterback coach is out. He is now at Oregon State, I believe. And Dante Moore hit the portal. Their starting tight end hit the portal. Many of their defensive players are opting out / hit the portal, including their best defensive player, who's like going to be a top 20 pick in the draft in Latu. I still think UCLA is better, especially with, give me UCLA minus. This is hilarious. This is closer to UCLA's campus than the fucking Rose Bowl. They'll probably have a better fan turnout here. I will lay the 4 with UCLA, but I got no fucking idea what's happening. Don't bet this game. What are you doing here, Nick?
So I was kind of still looking up the Starco Brands LA Bowl. What'd you say about Boise? Because Madsen's out too, right?
Oh, that's right. The backup Madsen's gone.
Because he's out for the year. He had surgery. So they're on true freshman CJ Tiller, who has never taken a snap at the collegiate level. That's Boise I'm talking about. That's why I think you fade the Broncos.
They're going to get fucked up, even though, yeah.
How many snaps did Dante Moore get this year? Because he's gone.
Well, you got Garbers and you got
Garber's got a lot of starts. Garber's got a lot of starts. Yeah.
They have experience at quarterback, and that's basically why I'm leaning UCLA.
UCLA, a top 11 defense in the country. I think that's the difference.
Well,
comparable offenses. Boise number 63. I'm looking at defense.
I don't know that the defense though. Is that you lost your defensive coordinator, and you're out 4 defensive starters, including like a top 20 pick.
But they'll be going up against a true freshman quarterback who's never taken a snap.
That's fair. That is fair, and I do think
is
UCLA.
idiotic. We might as well be fucking predicting a spring game here.
No, it really is, dude. Like I've been going through all these. I'm like,
I feel pretty good about UCLA here. Actually, I'm gonna lock it up.
Look, we love betting, so I'm in. Let's lock it. Let's go. Go Bruins. Hopefully their fans don't turn down the free tickets you offered me.
If the Bruins can't fill out SoFi Stadium, That's which is even closer to the UCLA
That's what I'm saying.
campus.
That's like 10. That's like a 10-minute drive from UCLA's campus, considering, or I don't know, depending on what time you go. But this is your opportunity to show up. Cal, Texas Tech, Shreveport, Louisiana, of all places.
In the mediocrity bowl.
So Cal's quarterback just hit the portal. Their star linebacker Caleb Alarms is in the portal.
Cal's back, right? It's not.
Well, Sam Jackson. He started like half the season.
Okay,
right?
well, it's not the guy that ended the year. That hot
True.
shot freshman Mendoza or something.
Mendoza, I think, is gonna play.
Yeah. He's pretty good.
Yeah, but they lost a couple defensive players to the portal, and that could matter. Texas Tech. Tyler Shuck is at Louisville now. Now, granted, remember, Baron Morton started the final 3 games, I think, of the season, and he started some games last year, so that's going to help. Unfortunately, a couple of their best wideouts hit the portal, and their left tackle. Cal's getting 3 in Shreveport. Give me the Golden Bears. I think I think it's actually could be a decent close game, but
it's a coin flip. I mean, these are 2 6-6 teams. Like I said, this is the bowl game that rewards mediocrity. They're very forgettable programs. But if you look at Cal's losses, I mean, they've lost to some really good teams. They lost to Auburn in a game they could have won.
They should have won that game. Oh,
they lost to Washington, Oregon State, Utah, USC by 1, and Oregon. There's no shame in any of those losses. So I think they're probably the better team. They've won 3 in a row. They just beat down UCLA. And I'm going to go with my ACC team, the Cal Bears.
This is so stupid. This gets stupider as we go along. I forgot about that. Yeah. I'm going to go with my ACC team, the Cal Golden Bears. Patty C, what are you doing here in Shreveport?
I mean, again, talk about, I don't know, Texas Tech, a little bit of a hard team to think about to start the season. Lost to Wyoming, but then probably should have beaten Oregon, or at least was right there with Oregon. And then three impressive wins prior to just getting destroyed by Texas to end the season. You
know what sucks is like Texas Tech, I think, travels well, but I don't know that they'll travel to Shreveport well.
Not that
far. If this was New Orleans, I feel like
it's not that exciting to go to.
Yeah.
Like Shreveport, I'll pass.
It actually is kind of far, man. From West Texas, like driving through those fucking states.
Oh yeah,
like
just getting through Texas.
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
How many Cal fans are going to be at this game? Like
None. No, that's my point. That's my point. Is I think it might be neutral. I can't see Texas Tech fans saying, "Hey, let's go to Shreveport." You don't even fly direct. You got to fucking fly into like New Orleans and then either connect or take a fucking car and drive for a few hours.
Texas Tech favored by 3. Let me ask you this: which coach is more motivated to get his team going for this game?
I don't know, man. I feel like both.
Joey McGuire, and then fucking Texas or Cal's coach is
Wilcox.
Wilcox.
What you got going for is that Shreveport is in the very western side of the state, northwestern, so it's only an 8-hour drive from Lubbock.
I'm gonna lean Texas Tech. I don't know if I don't like it at all. I don't like it.
Well, we won't like this one at all because Western Kentucky on Monday. So that concludes Saturday. They didn't play any on Sunday, but Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific.
We got 2-day football games on Monday.
That's right. The NAIA Championship. And then you got the famous Toastery Bowl. This is what's great is we have a Pop-Tarts Bowl this year. This is not it. So we have the famous Toastery Bowl. Western Kentucky taking on Old Dominion. And this game is in the beautiful city of Charlotte, North Carolina at the J. Rich. This game's hilarious because ready for this one? Western Kentucky is without 3 offensive starters on the O line, 3 offensive line starters. That is hit the portal. Their star cornerback Upton Stout, who led the team in passes defended.
Great name.
He hit the portal. Linebacker Desmond Baker, who had 42 tackles, a couple sacks, and 2 interceptions. He hit the portal. Against Old Dominion, whose star wideout Javon Harvey just went to Texas A&M in the portal. And their star safety Terry Jones hit the portal. I think Old Dominion started a lot of young players. I know they lost a couple. I think they're going to fuck up Western Kentucky with their backup offensive line and their best 2 defensive players out. I'm all over ODU -2.5 here in Charlotte. Nick?
I completely agree. Western Kentucky hasn't.
This is a lock.
Yeah, let's do it. Western Kentucky hasn't beat a team with a winning record all year, and that was with all their players. And if you look at ODU, they might be 6-6 here, but 4 of their 6 losses were 1-score games. The only 2 games that kind of got out of hand was at Liberty and at Virginia Tech, which makes some sense here. I've been kind of down on the Hilltoppers all year. ODU, I think, is a better team here, and the roster's more intact. So let's go Monarchs.
Let me disagree with you because look, Western Kentucky also had mostly respectable games. I actually think this game, there's no geographic advantage for either team. Kentucky versus Virginia going into North Carolina, it's relatively even there. Western Kentucky's only games that got out of hand were really Ohio State. In fact, they played Liberty closer than Old Dominion did. Then again, the spread's only 2.5. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll lean ODU, but it's not a lock. It's not a lock.
Okay, me and NC Nick locking up.
This is also Sunbelt over CUSA.
Yeah. Locking up ODU.
Pride. I like that.
All right, we got a Tuesday game, 6:00 p.m. The UTSA Roadrunners are taking on the Marshall Thundering Herd in Frisco, Texas. This will be a UTSA crowd. Marshall's quarterback. Did you see Charles Huff's tweet about him?
Yeah. What did he say?
It's hilarious. He said he was Cam Fancher. Fans told him he was awful, so he transferred out. And I think he said something like he wasn't that good. But Marshall's starting quarterback.
True. He wasn't.
is out. He's gone. Also, offensive lineman Trent Huller is in the portal. He starts on the O-line. On the defensive front for UTSA, the only guy out for UTSA is defensive end Trey Moore, who leads. I'm sorry, he's second in the nation, I think, in sacks. He, I think, committed to an SEC school. No, Texas. I think he committed to Texas. UTSA Captain Harris. I think Frank Harris is playing in this. He hasn't opted out yet, so that they're laying 13. This line has shot up a little bit since Tuesday.
That tells you he's playing.
I'm still laying it. This is a UTSA crowd. Jeff Traylor, he might have interviewed for Houston and Tulane, but he's still coaching UTSA. Give me the Roadrunners minus the points against Marshall with their backup quarterback. They can't throw the Marshall's not very good without. They need some help.
They're also not very good when they're not in Huntington, West Virginia. 1-5 on the road this year. Patty C. Their one road win. Guess who it was?
Who's that? UTSA?
Colby knows.
Yeah, because ECU blew that big lead, that big 10-0 lead. All right, and yeah, terrible.
I don't know about you guys, but I am not going to fade Frank Captain Harris in his last game at UTSA after such a great career. I think UTSA puts it on him big time.
I think that's a lock too. I'm gonna lock
it. I'll lock it with you again.
37 offense versus the number 94 offense in Texas. Yeah, I'll go UTSA with you guys.
All right, and look, we'll pick up next Wednesday with the Thursday Classic Bowl game in Boca Raton of South Florida and Syracuse. It's Patty C Bowl.
Did we miss Harding versus Colorado School of Mines?
Did I? Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I forgot.
We missed it, but we can talk about it.
No.
Division 2, baby. It's a Division 2 football.
Was this the championship?
Yeah, on Saturday at noon Eastern, we do have the D2 National Championship, and the Ore Diggers the Ore Diggers have been fine.
Watch your mouth there, buddy.
They've been kicking ass. And they're playing Harding. Tanya Harding made it all the way there. You know, Harding runs the Flexbone, Patty C. So they just beat Lenore Ryan 55-14. You gotta prep for it. But Harding's had a fortunate run. Yeah, you look back, Harding beat Grand Valley State. It was like a blue blood, 7-6. And then Harding beat Central Missouri 35-34. And then prior to that, when in the first round of the FCS playoffs, they did actually no, they had a bye. They had a bye.
Harding's out of Arkansas, right?
Yeah, is Harding? Yeah, out of Arkansas. Was I fucking that up before? Anyway, they're taking on Colorado School of Mines here. Championship game. This game on ESPN. Let's go. What are we doing? This is. I'm sorry. This is way better than some of these bowl games.
The Ore Diggers in their last 5 games, they have a win 82-0 and a win 77-3. They beat the Fort Lewis Skyhawks 82-0, and they beat the New Mexico Highlands Cowboys.
Hey, I've watched them 77-3.
I think you go school lines.
Yeah. Bob Stitt is walking through that door in some way, shape, or form. It is the innovative offense of the Colorado School of Mines. They're going to hand it to Harding. Give me Colorado School of Mines.
No, it is hard to prep for the triple option. So give me the University of Harding.
The fuck is that? Shit!
They are in Arkansas.
Wait, that means I fucked up the D3 schools. I don't know. Folks, I don't fucking know. I'm honest. These games are better than the fucking bowl games.
Welcome to bowl season.
These games are better than the bowl games.
ESPN 1.
Yeah.
ABC. Give me the D2 championship on ABC.
Patty C still doesn't get ESPN 2.
I need it on 1.
What kind of package does it also include ESPN 2?
Oh man, and Weehawk saying you can easily walk from School of Mines Stadium to a big brewery. They gotta love School of Mines.
That would actually be a fun game to go to this weekend. I wonder if Campus Tour is going to be there.
Should be.
That's a good question because he's doing it big time, folks. Give him a follow, Michael Barker on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC__NICK. Patty C's on Twitter at Patty C831. I'm on Twitter at the Colby D. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And Weehawk agrees. Yes, I'd much rather watch those because the players care.
That helps.
Yeah, does help. Work is hard. To quote the great Wayne's World movie. Folks, we'll be back in about an hour and a half talking college basketball for Thursday, December 14th. We're rolling along there. And the college basketball, I know this week they've gone a little light on the weekday schedule because of the finals that they claim. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Who's buying that bullshit? Anyway, Friday we do have UConn, Gonzaga in Seattle, and the Saturday slate in college basketball is unfucking believable. We got a primetime matchup tomorrow too when East Carolina goes to the swamp and beats the tar out of those sissy little Gators. All right. We got you covered on the College Basketball Experience. Stick around, folks. We'll be there in a little bit there. Yeah, until next time. This is the College Football Experience. We're not entering the portal. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking and the whole world's looking with the cameras. Run and shoot.